Alright guys, 2026 is stacked for Nintendo Switch, and we're counting down the top 10 games you need to be playing right now. From indie gems to massive RPGs, let's get into it. Scott Pilgrim EX is basically the classic beat-em-up you remember, but rebuilt from the ground up. You're playing as Scott, fighting through waves of evil X's with your crew, brawling through neon-soaked streets and weird, surreal locations that pull straight from the comics. The combat is that satisfying old-school style where you're just punching, kicking, and throwing enemies with friends on the couch or online co-op. They added new playable characters, new moves, and extra stages that weren't in the original. The pixel art still goes hard. The soundtrack slaps even harder. Each stage has its own boss fight that ramps up the difficulty in a fun way. It's not trying to reinvent anything. It just takes what worked, polishes it, and adds enough new content to justify coming back. Whether you played the original or this is your first time, it's a blast from start to finish, with zero downtime between the action. Tales of Berseria is an action RPG where you play as Velvet, a woman driven purely by rage and revenge. The story goes places most JRPGs won't touch. Morally gray characters, real consequences, and a villain who actually makes you think. Combat runs in real time. You're chaining together Break Souls and Artes to pull off combos that feel great once you get the flow. You've got a party of misfits, a demon, a witch, a kid, and everyone has their own fighting style you can rotate between. The remaster sharpens everything visually and keeps the emotional gut punch of the original story fully intact. Velvet isn't your typical hero. She's angry, she's broken, and watching her journey unfold is genuinely gripping. The dungeons are fun to explore, side quests flesh out your companions well, and the cooking and crafting systems give you something to tinker with between story beats.
Know your foes and strike where they're weak. Is that all?
The Rogue Prince of Persia is a 2D action roguelite that puts you in control of a prince trying to stop a Hunnic invasion, using magical wall running, combat, and time rewinding abilities. Each run you drop into a level, fight through enemies, grab upgrades, die, and go again. But each death feeds into permanent progression that makes the next run feel slightly stronger. The movement is slick. Wall running and vaulting through levels feels effortless once it clicks. Combat rewards aggression. You parry, dodge, and chain attacks without overthinking it. The art style is gorgeous, like a living illustrated storybook. Each run, you uncover more story, more lore about what's happening, and more of the world. The roguelite loop is tight and fair. No run feels wasted. Boons and upgrades mix up your playstyle enough that no two runs play the same. Marvel Cosmic Invasion is a co-op beat-em-up that throws you into a massive intergalactic conflict with a roster of heroes like Thor, Captain Marvel, Rocket Raccoon, and more. The gameplay is straight-up arcade brawler energy. You're moving through stages, smashing alien armies, and activating hero-specific powers that light up the screen. Each character handles differently. Thor is heavy and hard-hitting. Captain Marvel is fast and ranged-focused, and switching between them in co-op just feels natural. The story sets up a cosmic-level threat without getting too complicated. It's more about the ride than a deep narrative. Stages are varied, visuals pop with color and energy, and the enemy types keep you on your toes. You unlock upgrades, level up your heroes, and unlock new abilities as you push through. It's built for drop-in co-op fun and nails that vibe completely. Trails Beyond the Horizon is a JRPG that continues one of the most detailed, lore-heavy series in gaming. You follow a new lead operative working through political tensions, faction conflicts, and slow-burn mysteries across a richly built world. Combat uses a turn-based system with positioning, elemental magic called arts, and a craft system for special moves. It's deep without being overwhelming once you settle in. The writing is the real draw. NPCs have full storylines that update as the game progresses. Side quests aren't filler, they add real texture to the world. The story respects your intelligence and builds toward big moments across dozens of hours. It's a long game, a very long game, but every chapter earns its runtime. Fans of the series will feel right at home, and newcomers get enough context to keep up. Escape from Ever After flips the fairy tale formula on its head. You're playing as a group of classic storybook characters who've realized their happily ever afters are a trap, and now they're breaking out. It's a puzzle platformer with adventure game elements, where each character has unique abilities you swap between to solve environmental puzzles and push through chapters. The tone is sharp, funny, and surprisingly self-aware without being annoying about it. Each world is themed around a different fairy tale, beautifully stylized with hand-drawn art that feels alive. The puzzles ramp up nicely, not too easy, not wall-hitting hard. Dialogue is genuinely witty. The story has actual heart underneath the humor. It's the kind of game that surprises you because it's smarter than it looks. Great for solo play and has a co-op mode that makes the puzzle solving chaotic and fun. Octopath Traveler 0 is a prequel that digs into the origins of the world before the events of the first game. 8 new travelers, 8 new stories, all interwoven through the same HD 2D art style that still looks jaw-dropping in motion. Combat keeps the break and boost system that made the original so satisfying. You identify enemy weaknesses, shatter their shields, then unleash boosted attacks for massive damage. Each character plays completely differently and has a unique field action that changes how you interact with the world. The stories are darker and more grounded this time, focusing on ordinary people caught in extraordinary circumstances. The music is phenomenal. The world is dense with optional content, hidden bosses, and side stories that rival the main chapters. It's not rushing you anywhere. It wants you to explore, to experiment with party builds, and to get absorbed in it.
Be strong!
Let's end this!
This is our chance!
Mio. Memories in Orbit is a narrative adventure game set on a crumbling space station where you play as a small AI trying to piece together what happened to the crew. You move through decayed corridors, interact with memory fragments, solve light environmental puzzles, and slowly reconstruct the story of the people who lived there. The atmosphere is heavy and quiet. The sound design does enormous work here. Every recovered memory reveals more about the crew's lives, their relationships, and what ultimately went wrong. It doesn't hold your hand. You read the environment, connect the dots, and come to conclusions on your own. The visuals are stunning, desolate and beautiful at the same time. It's a shorter experience, completable in around 6 to 8 hours, but those hours are dense and emotionally loaded. The ending lands hard. It's the kind of game you think about for days after finishing. Planet of Lana II continues the journey of Lana and her creature companion Mui through a world still recovering from alien occupation. It's a cinematic puzzle platformer where you control both characters, switching between them to solve puzzles, navigate obstacles, and sneak past threats. Mui's abilities have expanded this time, opening up more creative puzzle solutions than the original. The world is hand-painted and breathtaking wide, quiet landscapes full of color and detail that make you stop just to take it in. The story deepens Lana's world in ways that feel earned rather than forced. There's no dialogue. The narrative unfolds through movement, expression, and environmental storytelling. Puzzles are clever and physical, built around weight, sound, and shadow in ways that keep you thinking without frustrating you. The pacing is deliberate and calm, which only makes the tense moments hit harder.
Hola. Veno muy.
Dragon Quest VII Reimagined takes one of the most ambitious entries in the Legendary series and rebuilds it for modern players, without losing anything that made the original special. You play as a young fisherman who discovers stone fragments that transport him and his friends to lost civilizations from the past. Each one a self-contained story about a people and a crisis frozen in time. The structure is anthology style, and that's where it shines. Every arc feels distinct, emotionally complete, and genuinely memorable. Combat is classic turn-based D-Quest, clean, readable, and strategic when it needs to be. The job system lets you customize your party's growth with real depth over time. The world is massive. The story is enormous. We're talking 80+ hours of content if you go deep. The reimagining sharpens the pacing of the original, tightens the early game, and brings the visuals to a level that finally does the scope of the world justice. That's the list. 2026 is not playing around with Switch releases. Drop your favorites in the comments, and if I missed one, let me know. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.